Every basic Spanish student should watch this video. This is not clickbait. I mean it. Ever looked at all the Spanish tenses and thought, nope, I'm out? What if I told you you only need 7 tenses to speak and understand Spanish at an intermediate level?
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
In this video, I'm going to share with you the 7 tenses I'd learned if I wanted to get to an intermediate Spanish level. And if you watch until the end, I'll give you the 8th bonus tense that will take your Spanish even further. You may be wondering, who is this guy? I'm Carlos. I've been teaching Spanish for over 15 years now and helped over 1,000 students to learn the language. And I make these videos because I want to help you avoid the mistakes 99% of Spanish students make. Comencemos. Let's get started. The first tense that I would learn if I were you is the simple present. Remember that the simple present is used for habits and routines. We don't really use it for actions in progress. We use it for habits and routines. The simple present has 4 groups that are going to be very important. The first one is regular verbs. There are some particular patterns that we need for the simple present regular verbs. We'll practice those ones. The next group in the simple present is the verbs like gustar. Remember that gustar is to like. There is a group of verbs that is going to follow the construction of gustar, the conjugation like gustar. We'll practice some of those ones as well. The next group in the simple present is the reflexive verbs. These follow a different construction as well. It's basically like a combination between regular and verbs like gustar. And the 4th group of the simple present verbs are the irregular verbs. Regular verbs follow the same pattern. AR verbs are going to be o, as, a, amos, an. An example of a regular verb is, for example, tomar, to take or to drink, tomo, and so forth. Tomo, tomas, toma, tomamos, toman. ER infinitives are going to follow the conjugation o, es, hemos, en. Like the verb comer, como, I eat. Como, comes, come, comemos, comen. And the IR verbs, infinitive, are going to have the conjugation o, es, imos, en. So this I is the only difference with the conjugation of the ER verbs, which is hemos. And a verb from the group of IR is vivir, vivo, I live, to live. You guys should learn these conjugations. Most of the verbs in Spanish are regular verbs, so this is really important. The second group in the simple present are the verbs like gustar. The verbs like gustar follow a particular pattern. First of all, the pronouns are different. You need to remember the pronouns. Me is for I. Te is for you. Le is for he, she, or it, or you formal. Nos is for we. And les is for they or you guys, you plural. And then the verbs like gustar are only going to have two conjugations. Me gusta for singular, me gustan for plural. And the whole conjugation will be the same. Me gusta, me gustan. Te gusta, te gustan. Le gusta, le gustan. Nos gusta, nos gustan. Les gusta, les gustan. There is only one exception that you need to remember when you talk to a person directly, saying, I like you, I'm attracted to you. Then you would say, gustas. So gustas, that ending is only when you're talking to a person directly. And then you would say, me gustas. Me gustas is, I like you, I'm attracted to you. What are some of the verbs like gustar? There is encantar, to love doing something, to love a thing, to love a person, to love a place. You can also say doler, to hurt, any part of your body. Me duele, me duelen, something hurts. There is caer bien or caer mal, to like personality. Me cae bien, me caen bien. Me caen mal, me caen mal. To like or not to like, but only referring to personality. There is the verb importar, to matter or to care about. Me importa, me importan. Interesar, to be interested in something, or something being interesting to you. These are just a few very common verbs from the group of gustar, but there are some others that are also important. But these are some of the verbs that I recommend to practice from this group. The next group are reflexive verbs. Remember that the main idea for reflexive verbs is that the subject and the object are the same thing. And the pronouns for the reflexive verbs are pretty much the same as for the verbs like gustar. You say me for I, te is for you. Now here is going to change. Instead of le, it's going to be se for he, she, it, and you formal. In the group of gustar is le. For us is, or we is nos, just like gustar. And then for they is going to be se, they or you guys. In the group of gustar is les. And then you will conjugate the verb according to the infinitive. For example, if it is an AR verb, the conjugation is going to be o, as, a, amos, y, an. This is an M. If it is an ER verb, the conjugation is going to be o, es, e, hemos, en. And if it is an IR verb, the conjugation is o, es, e, imos, en. One example with a reflexive verb is me levanto a las 7 de la mañana. Me levanto is I get up. Me is I. Levanto is the conjugation for I. It matches the pronoun. And then a las 7 de la mañana, at 7 a.m. I get up at 7 a.m. And the fourth group of verbs in the simple present are the irregular verbs. There are many groups within this group. I recommend practicing and learning the most common irregular verbs, since not all of them are going to be as important. Example, tener, you say tengo. I have. The conjugation for you es tienes. Conocer, to know, es conozco. Tú es conoces. I know, I'm familiar with. Conoces, you know, you're familiar with. The verb ir, voy, I go. Vas, you go. The verb ser, to be, soy, eres. I am, you are. The other verb to be, estar, estoy, estás. Some other important irregular verbs. Saber, to know, sé, I know. Sabes, you know, for knowledge and for abilities. Poder, can, puedo, I can. Puedes, you can. Querer, to want, quiero, I want. Quieres, you want. Hacer, to do or to make, hago, haces. Salir, to go out, salgo, sales, etc. For example, here there are 10 very common irregular verbs that you can learn and start using right now. There are some other important irregular verbs, you just need to practice them. Okay, the second construction that I would study if I wanted to get to the intermediate level is the present continuous or the present progressive. This one is used for actions in progress in the present tense. Actions in progress. And the structure is very simple. You just need the verb estar conjugated in the simple present, not the verb ser, the verb estar. So the conjugation is estoy, I am, estás, you are, está, he, she, it, you formal, estamos, we are, están, they are. And then, if it is an AR verb, you're going to switch the AR to ando ending. Example, estoy trabajando. Ando, trabajando, working, I am working. So it is trabajar. AR, trabajando, trabajar. If you are using an ER verb, you switch ER to yendo ending. For example, the verb comer, to eat, you say comiendo. The verb is comer. And if the verb ends in IR, like vivir, which is to live, vivir, you say viviendo. Viviendo, vivir. Another verb, estudiar, to study. Ends in AR, so you say estudiando, studying. One more, a common irregular verb. There are not many irregular verbs in the present progressive. That makes it a great tense to study. You just need vocabulary of regular, irregular, reflexive, and verbs like GUSTAR. A useful irregular verb would be the verb leer, which is to read. This one is irregular, so you just need to learn the conjugation. Leyendo, reading. So, very simple sentences. Estoy trabajando. I am working. Estás comiendo. You are eating. Está viviendo. He is living or she is living. Estamos estudiando. We are studying. Están leyendo. They are reading. Or you guys are reading. The third construction that I would study and that I would learn to get to an intermediate Spanish level is the past progressive. You just need to follow the construction that we practiced with the present progressive. Do the simple past in the imperfect. Estaba, estabas, estaba, estábamos, estaban. The verb plus ing remains the same. Let's see some examples. Estaba trabajando. I was working. Trabajando, because it's trabajar, an AR verb. Estabas estudiando. Estudiar is an AR verb. That's why you say estudiando. You were studying. Estaba caminando. Caminar is to walk. Caminar is an AR verb. So you say caminando. We were doing something. Estábamos. The emphasis is very important here. Most people mispronounce this word. The emphasis is in the syllable ta, T-A. This is an A. Estábamos. Estábamos, no estábamos. Estábamos leyendo. We were reading. Leyendo. And the conjugation for they, estaban. Estaban viendo televisión. Viendo. Ver, an ER verb, goes to viendo. Viendo. Estaban viendo. This is the past progressive. This is a very simple structure. The only thing that you need to change is the verb start to the simple past. Estaba, estabas, estaba, estábamos, estaban. And the gerund remains the same. Ando or yendo. Pretty simple, right? The only thing that you really need is to learn enough verbs in the regular, irregular, reflexive, and GUSTAR groups. And the fourth construction I would use to get to an intermediate level in Spanish is the construction ir a plus a verb in the infinitive form. Remember that the infinitive form are the endings ar, ir, the base form of the verb. So, the first thing that we need to know is the conjugation of the verb ir. Voy a, vas a, va a, vamos a, van a. How do you pronounce this? You pronounce it voy a. You don't say voy a, you say voy a. That's the right pronunciation. Vas a, no vas a, you say vas a. Va, you basically merge these two A's. Va. Vamos a, not vamos a, it's vamos a. And then vana, plus a verb. This is the construction you will need for the simple future. You won't need anything else in the very beginning. Again, the most important thing that you need right now is to have enough vocabulary of regular, irregular, reflexive, and GUSTAR verbs. That's gonna be essential. Voy a trabajar. I'm gonna work. I'm working in the future or I will work. That's simple. Vas a estudiar. You're going to study. You will study. You're studying in the future. Va a comer. He, she is going to eat. You formal are going to eat. He, she is eating in the future. He, she will eat. That's simple. Vamos a ver. We're gonna watch. Vamos a ver. We're watching. We will watch. And the last one, van a ir. They are going to go. They are going in the future. They will go. That's it. This is the construction that you need to use to express things for the future. The fifth tense that I would study is the preterite. Some people also call it indefinite or indefinido. This is basically the simple past in English, like I did something or somebody did something. The two most difficult tenses in Spanish are basically the simple present and this tense. Why? Because there are many irregular verbs. Again, my advice to all of you is to practice the most important irregular verbs. You don't need to learn all the irregular verbs. Now let's practice the conjugation. For AR, the conjugation is going to be haste, o with accent, hamos, aron. One example of these verbs, for example, tomar. Tú dices, tomé. I drank or I took. Tomaste, tomó, tomamos, tomaron. ER verbs. The conjugation is I with an accent. Iste. Yo. The accent is very important. The next conjugation is imos. And the next one is hieron. Let's use the verb comer. Comí, comiste, comió, comimos, comieron. The third ending is the IR ending. And it follows the same conjugation of the ER ending. I, iste, yo, imos, hieron. For example, the verb vivir, to live. Viví, viviste, vivió, vivimos, vivieron. Like I said before, there are many irregular verbs. You just need to practice the most important ones. The sixth tense I will learn is the Preterite Imperfect. This tense can be used in many different ways. One of the ones that I want you to practice or to remember is used to do something or would do something in the past. But like I said before, you can use it in many different ways. The conjugation is simple, but the pronunciation can be tricky. And there is good news. There are only 3 irregular verbs in this tense, so that's amazing. Let's practice the regular conjugation. For AR verbs, the conjugation is aba, abas, aba, habamos, haban. An example, tomar, tomaba, tomabas, tomaba, tomábamos, tomaban. Used to drink or would drink in the past. For ER verbs, the conjugation is different, so this is a little bit tricky. the ending is going to be ia with emphasis on the I. Ia, ias, ia, íamos, ian. For example, a common verb is comía. Comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comían. I used to eat. And the third ending is the IR conjugation, and it follows the same pattern of the ER verbs. Ia, ias, ia, íamos, ian. And a useful verb with this conjugation is vivir. Vivía. I used to live. Vivía, vivías, vivía, vivíamos, vivían. Pay attention to the emphasis on the I for the ER and the IR verbs. The seventh construction is the construction iba, a, plus a verb in the infinitive form. This construction is used to talk about plans and predictions in the past. We already practiced plans and predictions in the future with the construction voy a plus a verb in the infinitive form. So it's pretty simple. The conjugation iba comes from the verb ir, to go. This is the conjugation. Iba, a. Ibas, a. Iba, a. Íbamos, a. Iban, a. Plus a verb in the infinitive form. For pronunciation and to speak Spanish fluently, you need to connect these two A's. Iba, ibas a, iba a, íbamos a, iban a. Iba a comprar. I was going to buy. Ibas a ver. You were going to watch. Iba a trabajar. He or she was going to work. Íbamos a estudiar. We were going to study. Iban a comer. They were going to eat. I told you I was going to give you the eighth tense, the present perfect. In Spanish, Pretérito Perfecto. This tense is essential if you're learning Spanish from Spain, because they often use it instead of the simple past. And the eighth tense that I would recommend to study is the present perfect. In Spanish, we call it Pretérito Perfecto. This tense is very important for people learning Spanish from Spain, because in Spain they use a lot the present perfect, Pretérito Perfecto. And just like in Latin America, they use it to express actions that started in the past and continue in the present tense. Let's check out the structure, which is very simple. We need the verb haber. Don't worry about this verb right now, we're going to study it later. And the conjugation of the verb haber is going to be e for I, as for you, a for he, she, or you formal, hemos for we, and for they or you guys, you plural. Remember that the letter H is silent, so the pronunciation is going to be e, as, a, hemos, an. Then, the verb is going to be conjugated depending on the infinitive of the verb. If it is an AR verb, the second verb is going to end in ado. If it is an ER verb, the second verb is going to end in ido. And the same for IR verbs. Because this is a compound tense. So a regular verb in AR is going to be trabajar, trabajado. He trabajado. A regular verb in IR is comer, comido. Regular verb for IR verbs is going to be vivir, vivido. This is very important. The pronunciation is very important. He trabajado. We pronounce both verbs together. We do not make a pause between the verbs. So we say, he trabajado, he comido, he vivido. I've worked, I've eaten, I've lived. Like I said in the very beginning, people in Spain use this tense to talk about specific moments in the past. The conjugation is going to remain the same for the rest of the pronouns. Has trabajado, has comido, has vivido. Ha trabajado, ha comido, ha vivido. Hemos trabajado, hemos comido, hemos vivido. Han trabajado, han comido, han vivido. There are about 11 irregular verbs in this construction, so I recommend you practice those. Although not all of them are going to be that important. Let's write a couple of examples. He desayunado temprano. He desayunado temprano means I've eaten breakfast early. That would be the literal translation. But in Spain, this could mean I ate breakfast early. That's why I told you that it would be important for people learning Spanish from Spain to learn this tense. They use this tense a lot. He ido al gimnasio esta mañana. Literally, it means I've gone to the gym this morning. But many times, or most of the times, they are going to translate it like I went to the gym this morning. He ido, he desayunado. Let me write a sentence as we use it in Latin America. He vivido aquí por 2 años. He vivido is I've lived. I've lived here for 2 years, por 2 años. Por because it's a period of time. So this would be the 8th tense. Okay guys, in summary, these are the 8 tenses I recommend to get from 0 to B1 or intermediate level in Spanish. The first one is the simple present. Remember, we use the simple present for habits and routines. And there are 4 groups within this simple present tense: regular, irregular, verbs like GUSTAR, and reflexive verbs. You need to study them. Number 2, the present progressive, to express actions in progress in the present time. We use the verb estar, conjugated, and the second verb is going to end in ando or yendo, which is the ing in English. Number 3, the past progressive. You follow the same pattern of the present progressive, but you use the verb estar in the simple past, estaba. The second verb is going to end in ando or yendo, ing again, actions in progress in the past. Number 4, voy a plus a verb, indicating plans and predictions for the future. You only need to conjugate the verb go, which is ir, in the simple present. This is an irregular verb. And then plus the preposition a plus the verb in the infinitive form, in the base form, ending in ar, er, or ir. This is very simple. Number 5, the preterite indefinite, which in English is basically the simple past. I did something. There are many irregular verbs in this tense, so my recommendation is practice the most important verbs. Number 6, the preterite imperfect. This tense has many uses, but learn at least the one that is used to do something in the past, for habits and routines in the past. There are only 3 regular verbs in this tense, but the conjugation for AR verbs is aba. The conjugation for ER or IR verbs is ia. Number 7, iba a plus a verb in the base form, in the infinitive form, to express plans and predictions in the past. I was going to do something. You just need to conjugate the verb ir in the conjugation of iba, ibas, etc. And the last one is the present perfect. Like we said, this tense is very common in Spain. So if you're learning Spanish from Spain, this tense is going to be very helpful and very important. The construction is with the verb haber, and then you say has, ha, hemos, han. The idea is to have done something. That's how we use it in Latin America. But in Spain, when you use this construction, it basically means I did something. So you cannot translate it literally. With these 8 tenses and structures, you will be able to speak about the past, the present, and the future. Plus, express actions in progress, both in the present and in the past. But if you really want to take this further, you need to learn the simple past tense and the key verbs that will boost your Spanish. So, watch the next video and I'll show you exactly which verbs I'd learn if I were you.